Greetings, students. This is Mr. Torgerson coming at you with practice test 2-5 for the week of November 27th through December 1st. Question 1. Find the other endpoint of the line segment with the given endpoint and midpoint. Again, I will work this with a pattern. So the x values here are increasing by 2 to get from 2 to 4. Therefore, the finished x value will be 6, because 4 plus 2 would be 6. The y values are decreasing by 9 to get from 3 to negative 6. So the finished y value will be negative 15. You can work this with an equation as well. What you would do here is with an equation, you would say 2 plus x divided in half equals 4. And then 3 plus y divided in half equals negative 6. Alright, question 2. Mark the angles in size to indicate the triangles are congruent. So, R has one arc, and so does D. So triangle R is congruent to triangle D so far. S has 2 tick marks, and so does F. So S is congruent to F. And T has 3 tick marks, and so does E. T goes with E. RST goes with DFE. Question 3. These are alternate interior angles, so I will set them equal to each other. 22x minus 2 is equal to 4 plus 21x. Taking 21 from 22x yields x minus 2 equals 4. Adding 2 to 4 yields 6. The value of x here is 6. I can verify that these angles are congruent by substituting x back in. 6 times 22 is 120 plus 12, so 132. Minus 2 is 130. 6 times 21 is 120 plus 6, which is 126, plus 4 is 130. 130 is equal to 130 degrees. Question 4. The exterior angle theorem. This question mark plus this 88 will equal 118 because it is an exterior angle at 118. So I will take 88 from 118 to yield the answer for the question mark, which is 30 degrees. Again, the two remote interior angles, the angles that are not next to the exterior angle, when they sum together, they make that exterior angle, the exterior angle theorem. Question 5. Solve for the value of x. These triangles are congruent by side, angle, and then the side in the middle is shared. So these are congruent triangles. Therefore, the lengths here will be congruent as well, as they're opposite the same angle. So I'll set x plus 20 equal to 9. Therefore, x is negative 11. I can substitute x back in to verify that this side is in fact 9 in length. Negative 11 plus 20 is in fact 9. Question 6. The angles on any triangle, by the angle sum theorem, triangle sum theorem, will add to 180 degrees. So x plus 70 plus 30 plus 90, this angle, if this box is a 90 degree angle, will equal 180. 70, 30, and 90 adds up to 190 degrees. Therefore, the value of x here must be negative because it's going to have to be less. It's going to have to decrease the value here of this 70 so that this will in fact make 90, these two angles, this 30 and this angle here. So x in here is negative 10. I can verify that x is in fact negative 10 because 30 plus 60 is 90, and then another 90 would be 180. Next question, question 7. The centroid of a triangle. BG is 4. GT will be half in length, and BT will be those two added together. So if BG is 4, GT will be half that value, and BT will be those two values added together, 6. Again, it's 2/3 of the way through the triangle, the centroid. Same thing applies on question 8. VH, given that YV is 8. So if YV is 8, VH is half in length, 4. And the entire length, YH, would be 4 plus 8, or 12. I asked for the value of VH, so I will circle the 4 here. Again, pay attention to what's asked. Here I asked for the entire length, B to T, the two smaller lengths put together, the medium size and the small size. Here I asked for the shorter length, VH. Question 9. The mid-segment. The mid-segment is half the length of the entire segment here. So if I double this value, EF, I will get this value 3x minus 4. So I will double 2x and to negative 6, so that'll be 4x minus 12. Again, that's the distributive property. 2 times 2x is 4x. 2 times negative 6 is 12. And this will equal to 3x minus 4. Taking 3 from 4x will yield x minus 12. And adding 12 to the negative 4 will yield x equals 8. I can, in fact, verify that it is half in length by substituting 8 back in for x. 3 times 8 is 24. Minus 4 is 20. So this length is 20. Therefore, this length should be 10. 2 times 8 is 16. Minus 6 is, in fact, 10. Mid-segment. Next one. The angle bisectors. These will make right triangles. So find PV if QV is equal to 8. QV is this bottom length. And QP is 10. QP is this length here, the diagonal or the hypotenuse of the right triangle. So this is the Pythagorean theorem. PV squared plus 8 squared is equal to 10 squared. The two legs of a right triangle, when they're squared, is equal to the hypotenuse squared. So 10 squared is 100, and 8 squared is 64. When I take 64 from 100, I get 36. Therefore, PV must in fact be 6 in length. This is a derivative of the 3, 4, 5 right triangle. 3 squared plus 4 squared equals 5 squared, or 6 squared plus 8 squared equals 10 squared. All right, let me set up the next group of questions here. I'll be back momentarily. And we're back with question 11. Convex versus concave. Concave, again, has a cave. In other words, it caves in on itself like a cave on a cliff or a cave in an outcropping. Convex has no cave. So this one here on the left is convex because it does not have a cave. It does not cave in on itself. So that is convex. This one here has the cave. This right here, this angle is the cave. That's what tells us it's concave. It caves in on itself. And you could also think of it as the interior angle here is greater than 180. This interior angle, if you measure the angle inside the polygon, whereas the angles here are all less than 180 on the convex polygon. All right, regular polygons have all the angles the same. Not regular has different angles. So here, this angle here is obviously not the same as this angle here. So this is a not regular polygon because the angles are not the same. You could also look at the sides. A regular polygon will have all congruent sides, so you could say here this side here is not the same as this side here. Whereas on the regular polygon, all the sides are the same, as well as all the angles. Now you don't have to verify both sides and angles. If you verify that all the sides are the same, the polygon should in fact be regular, unless it's a rhombus. The rhombus would be the exception here, where a rhombus is not regular because the angles are not 90, but the sides are the same. But most polygons, if the sides are the same, the angles are in fact the same as well. All right, each figure is a parallelogram. Parallelograms have congruent angles that are across from each other. So those two angles are equivalent. So 2 plus 46x is equal to 140 degrees. Taking 2 from 140 will yield 138 degrees. And these do divide evenly, so you can guess there that's going to be 3 because 3 times 6 is 18. 120 plus 18, 138. So x is in fact 3. And again, I can verify my work. 46 times 3, 120 plus 24, 140. 120 plus 18. Sorry. 120 plus 18, 138 plus 2 is 140. They should be equal. All right. So 8x minus 1 here will equal 23 because, again, a parallelogram has congruent sides that are opposite each other or across from each other. So 8x here will equal 24. Therefore, x is 3. And, again, I can verify that x is, in fact, 3 by substituting it back in. 3 times 8 is 24. Minus 1 is, in fact, 23. So the two sides of a triangle have 15 and 7 in terms of their length. Again, the two sides of the triangle, when they add together, they will be less than the remaining side, and when they subtract, they will be greater. So I will add these together. 15 plus 7. This will be what the remaining side is less than, and then I will subtract them, and this will be what the remaining side is greater than by the third side there. Question 18. Because 2 and 7 is equal to 9, this cannot be a triangle. The two sides must be must be greater than the third side when they add together. So the two smaller numbers here have to be greater than the larger number or the larger side on the triangle to make an actual triangle. And since this is equal to 9, this will not, in fact, form a triangle. All right, so right here on number 19, I have two angles marked. I've got an angle and another angle. Now the side in between is shared. I'll mark it as side 3 because this is angle 1, this is angle 2, so side 1 and side 2 will be on the other side. So this is angle side angle because the side is in between the angles rather than following the angles. It's in between them. And it is in fact congruence because it's a congruence theorem. Classify the triangle. This is an obtuse angle because it is bigger than 90. And the sides here are all different because the angles are all different. So it is obtuse scalene. All right, question 21. Nonagon. This is like the word nine. N-I-N-E. 9. 9 sides. Dodecagon. Deca is 10. Dogeca is like dos, Spanish dos, deca. 10 plus 2. 12. All right, hepta versus hexa. Hepta is 7, hexa is 6. The way I keep them straight again is that HEX is like 6. It's got the X there. And hepta is the 7. So they do look similar, the words hepta and hexa. Try to keep them straight when you're working the question. And then 80gon is the given here, 80 sides, because that's the number in front of the word gon here. All right, point slope form once again. Point slope form of a line described through -3, -4. So the y value here, y minus -4. The y value is -4, is equal to, let's ignore the slope for now. We'll put the slope in a minute. So x minus -3 would be in the parenthesis here. So it's y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. So the x goes next to the x, the y goes next to the y. The slope will be in front of the parenthesis here. Now the slope is perpendicular to -3/2. So the slope perpendicular is positive 2/3. I reciprocal the 3/2 and change the sign from negative to positive, or from positive to negative. It started positive, make it negative. So this will be a 2/3. I'm happy with this right here. I don't care if you change the minus to pluses. On a final exam, it will be written as y plus 4 equals 2/3 times the quantity x plus 3. But what's more important to me is that you understand the y goes next to the y and the x goes next to the x, and the slope perpendicular is the negative reciprocal of the given slope. Anyway, this concludes test 2-5 review. I will try to get online Thursday again and answer questions if you watch the video. Or come in after school, that would be best. Anyways, bye.